Hey guys, Dan the Bearded Detailer here for another installment of how to protect and shine your vehicle quickly and safely from home very easily. So you probably just watched my last video. Actually, I know you did, so yeah, sorry, little secrets out there. But you're probably thinking, well, I wouldn't mind machine polishing my car, but I haven't got a clue. Well, good news. This video is exactly for you. We're going to cover a quick recipe that I'm going to show you of how you from home have zero experience can machine polish your car safely and effectively and get a nice shine following up from your clay bar. Okay, so you're going to need a few things. First thing you're going to need is, it's a machine polisher. So specifically, you need the specific type called a random orbital dual action polisher. I can't express that enough. If you're not sure, rewind the video, go back over what I said, imprint that, write that down. Okay, recipe is going to be written down anyway, so I've even made it that easier. What you do not want expressly is a rotary polisher. Rotary polishers are very dangerous in the hands of inexperienced users and can cause a lot of damage to your car very quickly. You require some sort of experience, so the legal team has got their little disclaimer there, maybe somewhere, probably not. But do not use a rotary polisher if you don't know what you're doing. This recipe will be prescribed as a random orbital dual action polisher. You can pick them up for about 130, 150 bucks from your local super cheap to get you going. They are so easy to use. Little Jimmy or Sylvia can probably pick one up. Your 5-year-old can probably pick one up and start polishing your car nicer than some detailing shops, unfortunately. But we're not going to talk about that today. The second thing you're going to need is a pad. Pad goes on the polisher. Yeah, who'd have thought? So there's generally 3 types of pads. I get asked all the time, oh, I want to polish, but I don't know what pad to use. There's so many. Well, yeah, there are, because there's so many different brands and varieties and what you're trying to do. So the general categories are broken up into 3 main areas. The heavy pad is called a cutting pad, which is going to remove a lot of defects. The next level is called a polishing pad, which gets softer. And then the final level, which is the one we're going to be using and talking about, is called a finishing pad. It's nice, super soft. It's really not for heavy defect work at all. It's really just to give it it will remove a bit of light oxidation and some light scratches with the right polishes. But that's essentially what we're prescribing because it's safe and very easy to use, and you can still get some nice results and a nice shine on your car very easily. So you've got your machine, you've got your pad. Next part is your polish. Polishes are generally broken up into 2 categories. You get your compounds, which is for heavy cutting work, and you've got your polish, which is for lighter work. So you're finishing after your compound, you go after it with a nice polish. I've said those 2 keywords specifically because when you go into your car shop to grab some gear, you can generally use those 2 categories, and you don't want a compound, even though some people might call it a compound liquid, but you want a fine finishing polish, okay? Your car shop should be able to help you out with that. You don't want to be doing heavy work. It's just a light polish to bring back up some shine. There's plenty out there, so take your pick. The next one, which I highly recommend, is some masking tape, some car safe masking tape. This is for your edges, okay? So the recipe I'm giving you, it's actually not easy to burn through on the paint and on the edges, but I say better safe than sorry, and so does my legal team. So there you have it. The recommendation is for use masking tape, but no, in all seriousness, guys, tape up your edges if you're not so sure. I'd highly recommend it and advise it as a part of this recipe. The only thing is when you're pulling the tape off, just be very careful and just be gentle and nice and slow. Take your time, okay? Take your time pulling the paint off, and you'll get it off nicely and you'll be left with a nice clean car, okay? Care is always important than speed. So there you have it. You've got your recipe. Now, what do you do with it? Great question. So you're going to see here the crosshatch motion, which we're going to duplicate around the car. Very simple, easy to do. There's really only 4 rules that you really need to be aware of. Yeah, I know, I put my pinky down there for a second, I wasn't sure. But really, 4 rules. The first one is pad stays flat on the surface at all times, okay? Following this crosshatch motion, The second rule is no pressure on edges. Do not apply pressure on an edge. If you're on an edge or if you're on a curvature on an actual pivoting line, and because it's taped up, you're going to be okay. But as a rule, you don't apply pressure to edges anyway. Okay, even though you are going to have it taped up. Good. Second rule is the edges, because I just said that. The third rule is pressure. You can literally polish your car most of the time by having this much pressure, letting the machine, you want the machine to do the work. You're not to do the work, the machine is to do the work. Okay? You might need to with the cheaper machines, if you're not going to outlay money into higher tools. The cheaper ones can be a little bit more rougher, but they'll still be okay to manage. It just means you need to hold it, but hold it still and let the machine do the work. Follow this crosshatch motion that we were talking about, and you'll get a nice, simple method. So the fourth rule is keep the machine moving. The machine does not stand still. Especially on a rotary. The rotaries you can rip paint real quickly, and the problem is once you rip paint, it's very expensive to fix in most cases. So we don't want that. But keep the machine moving. Crosshatch motion around the car. You wipe off. You wipe down once you finish. If you like the shine, then you move to the next step, which is your sealing wax stage, which we've covered already. You know how to do that. And you'll get a really, really nice shine. If you want to get a little bit more shine, if there's a bit more oxidation you would like to remove, then yeah, repeat the process until you get what you're after. If you're not sure about the oxidation, sometimes it can look like oxidation if you're not sure, but it might actually be paint thinning out. So just be aware of that. And that's more common on older cars. You're talking, cars that have taken a big flogging in the sun. They're probably between 10 years plus old. And they're quite deteriorated, but usually an experienced detailer or even a panel shop guy can probably take one look at it and give you an idea of what you're looking at. But most of the time, if it's, the car's reasonably okay, then a quick machine polish. The good thing is we're not doing heavy cutting work, it's just a light polish. So even if the paint is a little bit thin, this recipe will still be generally okay. But if you're not sure, you just ask someone. Remember the king rule, better safe than sorry. Okay guys, give that a go. Hey, show me your pics of when you've done the work. Chuck them in the comments. I'd love to see the work you guys come up with. If you get your kids to do it, that would be awesome. That would be so cool to see young kids getting into this and showing them how they can also get some make cars look good and do some great work. So it really is that simple. Kids can do it. And then they can learn more advanced techniques as they progress if they like. But hey, the sky's the limit. Give it a go, guys.